everybody.
Hello.
My name is Shannon.
I'm Alyssa.
Welcome back to another episode of
B-Movie Bash.
This week is our 50th episode.
Woohoo!
Which is really weird.
Yes.
Really weird.
Especially because we've been doing this for like more than a year.
Yeah.
This is our 50th.
So...
Mostly because I suck at life.
No,
so
it's fine. But this week we wanted to do something fun to celebrate.
Yeah.
So we're doing Am I the Asshole?
Mm-hmm.
But with special guests, the husbands.
The husband.
Say hello, husband.
Hello, husband.
Say hello, husband.
Hello, husband.
He's using his big boy voice.
I'm Zakk. I'm Tony.
Welcome. Thank you for coming. I almost said thank you for having us.
Oh, yes. Yes. No,
Yes.
thank you for having us.
Welcome to my podcast.
Yes.
I'm glad that you guys could show up.
Tony, do you have a podcast?
Kind of.
Oh, okay. What? Why don't I know about that?
Because it's not real. it's every once in a while I'll do a Magic Set review.
Oh, okay.
So it's not a
Podcast style or streaming style?
podcast style.
I watch them sometimes.
Oh.
Okay.
He doesn't watch our videos.
I do too.
That's fine.
No, you
You
don't.
don't have to.
I do too. And my coworkers do as well.
Well, I'm glad your coworkers at least like me, so I'll bake them some brownies. Okay.
This week we're doing Am I the Asshole? Like I said. And they're kind of more geared toward like partnership, right? Kind of a little bit. So that'll be fun. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You can start. Go ahead.
Oh no, here comes the monster.
Also, I'm sorry. I have dogs, and they live in my house, and they are gonna be a little bit loud. I'm sorry.
And it's echoey and it is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. So
All right, go ahead, Shannon.
So this first one is, am I the asshole for keeping a secret storage unit?
Ooh.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
Okay.
What do you think, honey?
We'll see.
Yes.
It's
Yes?
a secret. Only assholes keep secrets.
Well,
Okay, moving on.
Okay. My wife and I.
Next.
No, my wife and I moved in 6 years ago after 3 years of dating. When I moved into her place, she didn't want a lot of my stuff in there because either she had it already or deemed it as junk.
Relatable.
I knew this was gonna be a problem.
Yeah, as soon as you married me, you knew.
Oh my gosh. She wanted me to get rid of my stuff. I tried appealing to her and finding a compromise, but she was unwavering of her stance. I almost gave them away until my friend told me to just put it in a storage unit since it wasn't a lot of stuff and they held significance in my life. They were things I've had since I was an undergrad and remind me of different times in my life. I've always been nostalgic and never wanted to throw anything out because I feel like these items are memorabilia from another time. So everything went into a storage unit. I started with a locker, but now I have a 5x10 space. Not because I have that much stuff, but because I like to spend some time staying in there and just go down memory lane every now and then. I do it once a month or once every 2 months. I even have things from my parents from my childhood in there. My wife has always been the practical one and never kept things unless they were super important or had major significance in her life. She would honestly just throw out 90% of the things in that unit, if not all of it. So I always told her that I took care of the things she didn't want to keep, but that I did. Every now and then when I make purchases I know she won't let me keep, they basically go straight into the unit. Recently my wife has been asking our kids to get rid of the toys they no longer play with, but you know kids, they don't want to do that despite the fact they didn't really care for their old toys. They were so upset and they were crying all day, so I basically donated the toys that were untouched and kept the worn out ones in my unit. I took my kids with me to show them the toys and told them not to worry and that I will take care of the toys for them.
Okay, well that's your mistake right there.
When we got home, they were
Can't
all
trust your
happy
children.
and cheery. No, not at all. When my wife asked them what was up, they spilled the beans. I never told them. I never told them to keep it a secret, but at the same time, I didn't expect them to squeal. My wife was very angry and demanded to see the unit. I showed it to her, and as expected, she deemed all of it as junk and wanted me to get rid of it all. I refused because I'm the one paying for it. We have separate finances, and this doesn't affect her in any way. Now she's not talking to me, and everyone has been bashing me for keeping such a big secret from her. I just wanted my own space. I probably shouldn't have hidden it, but I know she would never approve of it and didn't want unnecessary tension. Am I the asshole?
I would like to revert my stance.
See?
No.
I don't think so.
What's the deal with the split finances like that?
They're not married.
Oh, they're not married?
So maybe that's why.
I thought I could have sworn they were husband and wife.
They
Yeah,
were
that's
dating for
what I
6
understood.
years and they moved in together after 3.
But they
Okay.
have kids together?
I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
So, live your life.
Fair
Sure.
But
Hey, he's paying for the unit. That's even more justified then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was definitely part of me that was like, he shouldn't have kept it a secret.
Yeah.
But then, like, after seeing
Well,
how
but
much of a bitch his wife is.
Yeah, if she's just gonna like show up and like toss everything out one day, like you know.
Yeah, it sounds like there's control aspects there that just she is being crazy.
Yeah.
But my problem with all of these is we only get one side of the story.
Exactly, yeah. We don't know if she's like, oh, but he's a hoarder and he's been hoarding all of this stuff for years and stuff, you know, like.
Yeah.
Like,
So-
what's actually in there? Because he was very vague about what he was actually putting in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have some of my stuff from my mom, and Zakk lets me have that down there, but like.
His memorabilia could be like some deep, dark secret or something. like,
It's just some bodies, okay?
yeah, oh yeah,
Like,
it's just Nazi memorabilia
Yeah.
from my childhood. You
it
know.
means a lot to me.
Yeah, it does.
And I mean, if it's the Nazi memorabilia, then absolutely keep it.
yeah,
because, you know,
obviously.
that's
Oh,
the
man.
good
It's
stuff.
part of history.
Yeah.
No wonder it's a secret.
and he
Don't
and he reflects. He goes back there and he checks on it once a month.
Yeah.
Just to cast the spells again.
Make sure it's still working.
Yeah.
So no, if it's not Nazi memorabilia and it's just normal stuff, if it's normal stuff, then no, he's
Well, but could it be like? Well, that's the thing, though, is that if it's like pictures and things like that, like just a few things like your high school diploma and things. If she isn't wanting you to keep that kind of stuff, that's insane to me.
Yeah.
But what is it that like if she's okay with pictures and things like that, you know, like a
Like,
few.
what are these things?
Yeah, what are these things? What are the knickknacks and stuff like that? But I'm like, but if she's over here being like, I don't want your picture albums and stuff, like.
Yeah.
I have Zack's picture album right there from when he was a baby. So like,
yeah, we
you
don't
know.
talk about that.
The biggest kicker for me is just you have separate finances. He doesn't keep it at the house.
Yeah.
This literally does not affect you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it impacted your life none before you
yeah,
found
exactly.
out.
This is a hurt feelings, not a actual real life doing
Problem.
anything.
Yeah. I
Grow
can see
up.
where she would be upset with the whole "you've been lying to me" this
Yeah,
whole
that's
time.
what I was going to say. Is it probably
Yeah.
sparks like, what else have
Yeah.
you been lying about?
Oh,
And my
but
other thing too is that I would have a problem with him being like, "Oh, don't worry, kids, I'm still keeping all your stuff," you know.
Yeah.
But like that's hoarder mentality. So like,
no,
I mean, but like, is it like their stuffy that they've had since they were a
Yeah,
baby that
that's
she's
true.
like, get it out of the house?
that's true. I mean,
That's dumb.
I still have all my bears, you know.
Yeah.
So like,
watch it actually be Nazi memorabilia. And, like, you keep our children's old toys with your Nazi stuff, and they know about it.
I didn't tell them about that part. It's fine.
But now they think it's cool, John.
they like marching in line. I can't help it.
What are you going to do?
It's only goose stepping if you call it goose stepping.
All right. Okay, my turn. Am I the asshole for going off on my soon-to-be husband for returning my wedding dress?
Oh, I scrolled past this
Oh,
one.
did you? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Good
read it
girl.
though, but yes,
Good.
maybe. Okay. I don't know.
I hope you didn't read some of the ones that I did. But either way, that's...
Yeah,
it's
it's
fine. They haven't heard them. So, okay. Me, 29 female, and my soon-to-be husband, male 33, are getting married soon. Wedding planning has so far been going all right, except for a few things he and I argue about, like the venue and flower girl.
Well,
Who's arguing
she's still
over flower
talking in
girl?
the present tense as though it is
Happening
still
right
happening.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not, you gave away my dress, and so goodbye.
So we are not getting married.
So,
anymore.
you know, good start.
Yeah,
Good
so,
start.
yeah.
Now we've been arguing about my wedding dress. This might sound cliche, but ever since I was young, I dreamed of having my own beautiful wedding dress. I can afford it, but my soon-to-be husband thinks it's not okay, which I think is weird, just fiancé, that's fine, but like, she has an STBH, and I'm like, fiancé!
I hate that.
It's just-
I hate that so much.
thinks it's not okay to waste a couple of thousands on a dress I'm only going to wear once. Yes, he might have a point there, but for one, this is a typical price for a wedding dress, and two, because it's worn once in a lifetime, it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, then why not make sure it's special? My soon-to-be husband still isn't convinced and suggested I rent a dress instead of buying one. He started saying that I'm being irresponsible with money and brought up how much money I've already put aside to rent a face, he means makeup, and wear fake hair, he means extensions. But I have this vision of what I want to look like on my wedding, and I think that it would be... that it's my right as a bride. I went ahead and purchased the dress, but a day later I found out that it was missing from my closet. I freaked out, but he told me he returned it and got the money back. I was shocked. I asked him why he did that, and he said that he thought the dress was ridiculously expensive and that was wasting money, and again suggested I go rent one. I blew up and went off on him, which I've never done before. He literally took a few steps back and told me to calm down. I said he had no right. I'm the one paying for the damn dress. He got upset and that there was no I'm paying for it myself in marriage, and that my attitude is setting the tone for what type of dynamic we'll have in our marriage. He kept on about how I must expect him to pay for everything while I keep my money or spend it irresponsibly, but I never tell him how to spend his money. I recognize that he has zero say in how I spend my money whatsoever. He told me that I should grow the F up and stop with this dream wedding dress cliche. Then stormed off to call his mom, who chewed me out, saying she won't let me ruin her son's financial stability with how I deal with money generally. She, too, urged me to rent a dress or buy a cheaper one, way cheaper than the one I picked out, and moved on, but I declined. A side note, she added on, yes, he still has the money and said he'll give it back once we agree to a solution.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so this needs to not be fiancé anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I love that he was like, your attitude is what is gonna go
Yeah.
through marriage, sir.
You need to grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that he still has the money and is like holding it ransom,
Yeah.
like that is her money
That
for
is.
now. So once you share finances, you can talk more about other things. But I just
That's probably what he was secretly banking on, is he knew how much money they might potentially have together, and then is like, oh no, now we don't. So he's upset.
And I understand the whole like fancy wedding dress wasting money thing. I get that. My dress was like $300.
My dress was
Your
free.
dress was free. But returning it behind her back without her knowing,
Yeah.
that's a big deal.
I'm surprised they let
Yeah.
him do that. Normally they'll call the bride, like,
Yeah, or something.
or something, yeah.
Or like, do you have the card that it was bought with?
Yeah.
Or, you know, like...
Yeah, if it was really bought with her
something.
money, how did he...
Get the refund.
yeah.
Yeah, he
So-
shouldn't have, I don't think.
Did he also take her wallet too? And if so,
Divorce.
Yeah.
I just don't see any situation where this is okay.
Yeah.
No.
I don't see them being married for 5 years, that's for sure. Like,
You're not the asshole.
no.
No.
Also, you need a new fiance,
yeah.
not soon to be husband.
Also, like, it's. I've got a couple other things here too, where like you have the he goes and calls his mom, and then his mom calls me and yells at me and stuff, and I'm just like, who?
In what world?
Whose people are actually doing this? Like, I don't know how many times you complain to your mom if we ever fight or whatever, but she has never called me. Honestly, I think she tells you you're wrong more than she would call and yell at me. So like,
You're like, Zach, go fix this.
yeah, like,
I've had an ex's parents yell at me.
Really?
oh yeah, which ex?
The
Okay, that one.
Tony, are you ready for your own "Am I the Asshole" story? We already know the answer, but
So once upon a time, Christmas comes around, and my ex gets a bike for Christmas because she didn't have a car. And she was like, hey, I'm just going to have Tony put it together because how hard can it be? She tells her parents this, and her parents are like, no, you should go and get it professionally put together and stuff because of safety and blah, 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 blah.
It's a bike.
Exactly.
Okay.
So she's like, yeah, I'm just going to have Tony do it. So they message me. And they're like, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, but it would really be the responsible thing to do. I'm just like, I'm not even going to respond to you because...
I love the emotion. Was it a text or was it a call?
It was
voicemail?
a text.
Oh, okay. I love the emotion. It's great.
I'm just like, get out of your kid's life.
Let them be an adult.
Yeah, don't
Because
worry
she is and was a whole ass adult.
Yeah.
Living on her own, completely not being financed by these parents, not being anything, living on her own, whole ass adult.
Yeah.
But no, her parents needed to contact me because she was making poor decisions. I'm like, first of all, I don't control her.
Yeah.
Second of all, neither the fuck do you.
I mean, at least you weren't in a fight or anything. So, like, there's that she wasn't, like, calling them and being like,
Yeah, no.
like,
But still.
Thank you for that.
That's why you're with me.
Yeah.
all right, your turn, Brandon.
Okay, this one I don't know the title of, so
Okay.
I'm sorry. I saved it a long time ago. My sister is pregnant with her first child. My sister was very close with my wife, as she practically grew up around her. She was equally as heartbroken and devastated as I was when my wife passed away. Recently, we found out my sister was having a girl. She invited me and my girlfriend over for dinner. There, she asked what I thought about giving her daughter my late wife's name as a middle name.
Oh.
And stated that she would only do it if I was okay with it. I said yes immediately, but my girlfriend blew up on my sister, saying that she thought it would be disrespecting her, and that she felt like she would always be in my wife's shadow with a baby that had her name around. My sister tried to say that it would only be the middle name, but my girlfriend carried on, shouting at her and saying she was so sick of competing with a dead woman and how she wished we would all get over it already. I got up and told my girlfriend that we were leaving and would talk about this privately. The car ride home was silent, and as soon as I got home, I texted my kid's aunt, my wife's sister, who was watching them during dinner, and asked if she would keep the kids overnight as well, and she agreed. I then blew up on my girlfriend, first berating her for shouting at my pregnant sister, and then asking why she would disrespect my late wife like that. She tried to turn it around on me and make me feel guilty for not defending her, and told me that agreeing with what my sister asked made me a shitty boyfriend, and it showed that I didn't care about her at all. I told my girlfriend that I had tried my best to not make her feel like she had been competing with my late wife, as she had put it, but she had always known how important my wife was to me and my family, and that she was previously very understanding about it, so why had that changed? She then said she was hoping if we were together long enough, they would start forgetting about my wife. I reminded her that she was my kid's mother after all, and her memory would never fully be gone, but that didn't mean I loved her any less. But if she couldn't accept that, maybe we shouldn't be together. She left shortly after, and we haven't spoken since.
Good.
I'm now getting texts from her friends and family calling me an asshole and saying if I really loved my girlfriend, I would tell my sister not to use my late wife's name.
No, I don't love her. Thank you, goodbye.
Like what?
Excuse you?
In the world.
That's, first of all, that's none of your damn business. Don't fucking worry about it.
No.
If you're that worried about it, go date a single guy, who doesn't have kids.
Did it say how long the deceased wife and him were married for?
I
think you did, but anyway, it's not really important.
Yeah, especially
Long
given
enough to
that
have
they
kids.
grew up together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like-
give her her middle name as a friend then, not as a late wife.
Yeah, there you go.
Like
That's just too fucking bad.
She's dead.
Yeah.
It's not an ex.
Yeah,
It's a late
it's
wife.
not like a divorced wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, it's her kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's just too damn bad. I'm gonna do what I want to do.
yeah, the whole how are you guys not over this already? Thing
Yeah.
is just
Oh.
insane
And it sounds
to
like
me.
huge insecurity issues.
Oh, yeah. To sit there and be like, oh, I was just hoping you guys would get over it. No joke, today, I had a lady walk into my lobby that I thought was my mother.
Oh.
Like, she had her hair cut the same way. She was wearing a flag t-shirt that my mom always would kind of wear. She wore, the denim cut-off, capris with the flip-flops and stuff. The only difference was that she was wearing glasses. And I was like, I straight up thought this woman was my mother walking into the lobby for a moment. And I cried after she left and stuff. It doesn't go away.
No.
It doesn't go away.
No.
So, that's just too damn bad. If you have a problem with that, go date somebody else. And I think he needs to be with a widower.
Yeah.
So,
Or something.
Something.
Just someone better.
that understands. I'm sorry, you would not be in their life, in his life, if she was not dead.
Yeah.
And if he was, then
Yeah.
that's a different problem. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
The
What
fact
do you
that he's
think,
even asking is insane.
Yeah.
No, I think it's very blatant. Are we going to get an am I the asshole? The person is actually the asshole. Did
Not
you
usually.
look?
I might have found one. So,
Okay, go
Okay.
for it.
just kind of depends.
No matter what it is, next one I'm just going to claim. Yeah, I'm
Automatic
gonna
asshole.
rush to the defense of this person is an asshole.
Okay.
Indeed, even though
It makes me wonder what the title of that one was, though.
Yeah.
Was it deceiving, or
Uh-huh.
was it,
This one, they did label him as the asshole, actually. Everybody on Reddit labeled him the asshole.
Pardon me.
Yes. So,
I didn't. This one?
this one I'm about to read right now.
Okay, I thought you meant
Oh,
the one with the.
That was just barely. No. This one I'm about to read.
Oh.
They labeled him as the asshole.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't following as well.
Spoilers.
So,
yeah.
sorry. But,
You might as well not even read it now.
I didn't know that people made decisions on this, and
Oh,
it
yeah.
was a
People vote.
there's some that is like, you're the asshole, or you're not the asshole, or you're both suck.
Everyone's
kind of a
an
thing. Yeah,
asshole.
everyone's an asshole thing. So,
Yeah.
anyway. Okay. Am I the asshole for getting angry at my wife for not packing me a lunch for work?
Oh, boy. Oh.
The other day, I, 29 male, overslept for work. It was completely my fault. I'd stayed up too late binging a series and slept through my alarm. I'd woken up about 30 minutes later than I should have. There is almost no worse feeling than realizing that you've overslept, so I woke up in a panic. I almost immediately called my boss to let him know that I was running late, and then began a frantic effort to get ready for work as quickly as possible. My wife, 28 female, doesn't always remember day to day when I have to work, since my starting time varies by a few hours. So she didn't necessarily know that I was running late till I called up to her and told her. As I was jumping in the shower, I yelled to her and asked, "Hun, I'm running late. I really need you to quick throw a lunch together for me. Just a sandwich and some fruit and some chips and a couple bottles of pop." She called down, "No." And I yelled back, "Please, just this once, help me out." Here's my thing. My wife has some weird hang up about packing lunches for me. She grew up in a family where her father always expected her mother to pack his lunch for him. And according to her, he was kind of entitled to it. So while my wife doesn't mind cooking dinner for me or doing my laundry, not that I always expect it, she just has a problem with packing a lunch for me, as it makes her feel like too much of a servant. I don't totally get it, but it's her thing, and it's never been a big deal before the other day. I always pack my own lunch. However, even after asking this one time when I came upstairs, I found that my lunch cooler was empty. I looked at my wife, who was just sitting on the couch on her phone, and said, "Really? Were you too busy?" She answered, "Pack your own lunch. It's not my job." And she only works part-time, and it's absolutely beyond pissed off to watch her sitting there, leisurely scrolling through her phone while she knew I was stressed and scrambling. I just left without a lunch and had to buy food from the vending machine to get me through the day. When I got home, I was still pissed and we got into a huge fight. She told me that I knew her boundary about packing a lunch for me. I told her that she could have put her hang-up aside this one time to help me out. There were a bunch of questions that he was getting, though, so he answered a few. So I don't know if you guys want me to read those right now.
Oh, please do.
Okay. So, one, we both do housework. I won't say it's completely split down the middle. She probably does more laundry, cooking, and dishes than I do. But I do stuff fairly often as well, and we both clean up at equal rates. I also do more yard work. 2, people think my wife may have some childhood trauma about this. I probably didn't explain it well, but it's not nearly to that level. Her father is a decent guy. She'd tell you that herself. It's just, it got under her skin watching her mom always pack his lunch for him and him not seeming to appreciate it. 3, I could technically have food delivered there. Given that the location and where I am in the building, it's just kind of more of a pain than it's worth. And 4, I understand that it's my fault that I overslept. I'm not blaming anyone else. It's very rare for me, but this one time I just let myself get too caught up in what I was watching. What upset me, though, is that my wife overslept. If my wife overslept and were stressed and frantic, I would have helped her out in any way possible to get her out the door as fast as possible, even if it would have just saved her 2 minutes. I wouldn't have sat on my feet playing video games. Sat with my feet up. There we go. Playing video games and just watch her struggle. That's my side of it. While hers is that she's just never going to pack me a lunch, and I know that, and that's that.
So it's probably just my inborn sexism, and I just,
yes.
you know,
Do tell.
I'm siding with him.
Mm-hmm. Did you say people said he was the asshole?
People said that he was the
They
asshole
did.
because she set her boundaries with him, and he didn't respect that.
Man, that
Okay.
title though.
Mhm.
That title
Okay.
though. They probably just. I'm going on a limb here and just say that most people didn't read it in its entirety. Just read that title and was like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, they read that he had
get 'em.
overslept, asked her to make her lunch,
Get
his
'em.
lunch, and then, yeah.
I could see if maybe like it was something she did every once in a while, and he would like expected it of her, and then she didn't this time, and he got upset.
That's where I thought this was going to go.
Yeah, and he like blew up on her or something.
Yeah.
But this is just dumb on both of them.
I make Zakk lunch every day.
I would have
So,
no
like,
problem if
yeah.
I had nothing to do and just was sitting there, and you were scrambling around, and you were like, "Hey, please, I need some lunch." Like,
I'm even taking her not quite trauma, apparently, into account. The fact that she was so completely unwilling to do anything to help because of some shit that she has with her dad.
Yeah.
This isn't shit that she has with
her
husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is shit that she has with her dad.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit. I'm siding with him.
Yeah.
Agreed.
very much so.
Yeah. I just to sit there and have her be like, "No, I'm just never ever gonna do that for you." Okay, then I'm never ever gonna do this for you, and that's our boundaries.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Watch where I put mine.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's just so frustrating, especially because I'm like, Zakk tells me all the time I don't have to make him lunch; that he'll do it himself. But I'm already up and moving. I'm already doing things, so I
Yeah.
might as well. And honestly, it's not that hard to make him lunch for the next day. You know, like it's not hard.
Yeah.
She does.
I
It's very helpful.
And
Yeah,
it's not
and
even
he's-
like a wifely duty type of thing. Like
No.
if that's what she was like, meh, meh, meh.
I know.
But,
Whenever Zakk has a day off, he's always like, "Let me know if you're hungry. I'll bring you food." Like,
Yeah.
why is it that big of
be
a
a
hang
good
up that you
partner.
can't?
Yeah.
That you can't do that for the person that you supposedly love. Like, it's just
yeah. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, people said that he was the asshole.
People are wrong.
I know.
Yeah, Reddit sucks. Oh, am I not allowed to say that?
It's okay.
Oh.
I think that was a bunch of like single women saying that he was an asshole. So,
Probably.
you know,
It's sexist.
or recently broken up with. What?
Okay. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she has no choice in the discipline of my children?
Yes.
My ex-wife and I parted shortly after the birth of my 9-year-old daughter. We also have a 12-year-old son together. It wasn't a messy breakup in the slightest. She just fell out of love, and we still maintain an incredible friendship today. Co-parenting with her is easy, and we have 50-50 custody, with no courts involved. They spend a week with me and then a week with her. We live close by anyway, and the kids love the arrangement. My ex-wife and I both agreed on the way we would raise and punish our children should they misbehave. That way the structure stays consistent and we don't have one parent favored over the other. I've been dating a girl for around 7 years now. That's a long
If
time.
you're dating for that long, holy shit.
And she's always been amazing to my children. Last December we got married and things were fine up until now. Last week my daughter stole 2 pockets full of chocolate from the little corner store, whereas my ex and I would have marched her into the store, returned the chocolate to the owner and apologized. My new wife took the children home, sat my daughter at the table, and forced her to eat the entire lot by herself, making her brother watch. She continued... Hold on. It's good. Yeah. She continued to make my daughter eat even after she complained of a bellyache. My son told me this when I got home from work. I immediately confronted my wife, telling her that my ex and I both have a system in which to discipline our kids, and that she has absolutely no choice in that. That if she's to punish my children, she goes by our agreed upon methods. It keeps everything consistent, and I didn't appreciate her making my daughter feel sick. She slept all night and skipped dinner because of her stomach. My wife is extremely upset and says I can't expect her to be married to me and not have a say in how they are raised. I again repeated that how they're raised is up to me and my ex, and she should respect and follow those methods. I got the silent treatment for a few days before she said she couldn't handle the sight of me anymore, and she went to stay with her mother. Of course, her mother is now calling me an asshole and saying that I'm treating her as an unequal parental figure in the house, and that she should have a say in how the kids are raised, as well as considering she's the stepmom. I spoke to my ex about it, and she agrees with my stance and thanked me for standing up for our choices and defending our agreement. Little update. Things blew up quite dramatically in the last 20 hours, and I've had the chance to talk with my kids about their treatment while I'm not home. As a lot of people suspected and warned me, and what I feared, she's been using her own parents' punishment tactics on my son whenever he misbehaves. This has included making him stand out in the sun on the concrete until she lets him go as a punishment for jumping in the pool when he wasn't supposed to, ripping up his sketchbooks as a punishment for drawing on his desk, and putting his hands in icy water as punishment for stealing an ice pop.
Is this I am
the child
Child
abuser?
called it? Like, yeah, child called it.
Yes.
What is this? Like,
My son only rang the alarm this time because it was his sister who was punished. The end.
Yeah,
Now you
sounds
can...
like you need 2 ex-wives.
yeah, like that's.
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
That is literally child abuse.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
can't do
the
that.
standing on the parking lot and being forced to eat chocolate it's not something you just come
Like,
up
have you
with on the
seen
fly.
Matilda?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't, no.
Oh,
Why don't you?
Oh.
It's
He
the
has to
chocolate
eat a
cake.
whole chocolate cake.
A whole chocolate
Oh,
cake.
I
Yeah.
have actually. I
Yeah.
apologize.
That's what it made me think
Yeah.
of when she
Yeah.
had to eat the
Yeah.
chocolate. But that's
The scene is uncomfortable.
Why don't you smoke a whole carton of cigarettes? Like
Exactly.
that's
like that's the stuff people would do in the 50s.
Yeah.
Not
and
what
to
you're
like,
supposed to do.
if we're talking about childhood trauma right there, that right there is gonna like
Scarred for life.
scarred for life, you know, kind of a thing. If you don't like talk to her about that, like, but she could always have an issue with food after that.
Yeah.
Like,
And I'm not at all blaming the son.
No.
But you gotta ring that bell earlier.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
You gotta, because if you know that your parents have a way of doing things and your stepmom is doing crazy shit, you gotta tell your parents what's
Yeah.
going on.
Especially when they're 9 and 12. Like
Yeah.
that's old enough to
that's old
know
enough to
something's
know
going on.
Yeah, I will call
And I
the
get
cops
feeling like
on
you want to
her.
have a say in the kids that are in your home half the time.
Well, but
but
that
it's one
needs to
thing
be like a
parent
sit-
them.
Yeah,
and to-
that's a sit down discussion with the spouse and say,
Yeah.
okay, if I'm home alone and your kids misbehave, how would you like me to handle it? Not just, well, you sit there until your father gets home. Like that's
ripping up his sketchbook.
yeah,
That's so
that's sad.
Yeah,
That
that
was-
was a fun one.
That was the previous comment. That was me. It was like, oh, you just wait till your father gets home. which was almost worse
Yep.
than the actual whatever punishment which followed the sitting there in torment.
Yep. Just waiting.
Yep. So I kind of went with one along with that one because you sent me the title of
okay.
it. So it's ever so slightly on the opposite side kind of a thing. So am I the asshole for not telling my husband where his son was?
Oh.
I, 27 female, married my husband, 37 male, 4 years ago. He has 3 children from his previous marriage, 16 male twins, and a 13-year-old female. From the very beginning, I was super clear with them that while I'd love a relationship, I'd never try to force them into anything, especially not a parental one. And for the most part, that's been going well, or as well as you'd expect. I'm dad's wife, nothing more. However, when the twins first started learning to drive that summer, I told them that driving would give them new freedom, and I knew the stuff teenagers got up to. I then said that while I get that's part of growing up, their safety is the most important thing. So if they ever felt like they were in an unsafe situation and needed an out, don't hesitate to call me. I would come and get them no matter what. No questions asked, and dad didn't have to know. Husband and his ex tend to be very liberal with punishments. They brushed me off at the time, and I thought very little of it. Fast forward, last Friday, one of the boys, B from now on, was supposed to be staying at a friend's house after prom. At 2:30 a.m., I was finishing up a bit of grinding in my game when I get a call from him. B explains in a shaky and slurred voice that he had been at a senior girl's house party and the friend who drove had ditched him, and he had been drinking a lot. And please don't tell dad. I've already snuck out of the house, and I just say, don't worry, your father's asleep, I'm on my way. He texts me the address after some coaxing, and within 30 minutes, I'm discreetly shuffling a drunken, shaky boy into my passenger seat. He's crying within 5 minutes of leaving. I did my best to comfort him. I drove through McDonald's and got him a burger and ice cream. I get home, sneak back to his room, and get him up safe in bed. I don't sleep from constantly checking on him to make sure that he doesn't show signs of alcohol poisoning. My husband leaves for work early Saturday morning, so he doesn't notice B is home. B is nursing a bit of a hangover, but is fine. Ever since, both of the twins have warmed up to me exponentially. I even heard B say my dad and stepmom's house instead of my dad's house. Stepmom, yeah! Exclamation point. But yesterday, my husband put 2 and 2 together after some combination of local gossip and testimony from his daughter, what actually happened, and it came out what I did. Obviously, he was mad that I knew and didn't tell him. I told him I would apologize for showing his son, or I wouldn't apologize for showing his son to ask for help in bad situations, nor would I condone punishing him for doing exactly what he should have done to fix a mistake he clearly learned from. Husband says that I'd undercut him in the role of his child's father by going behind his back. The ex says I overstepped entirely, but I still think I did the right thing. Am I the asshole?
This one's a little more mixed for me.
Yeah,
agreed.
same.
Because on the one hand, I've been the stepmom. You know, I've been the person who's like, I don't care what the hell you're doing. If shit's going down, you call me. I will help you get out of it as long as it's not, you killed somebody.
And in that case, it's cut off fingertips, break out teeth.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if you're going to be okay with murder, you're going to have to be okay with dismemberment too. So,
This is why
but
I
I
married
was never in that position as the opposition to my spouse.
Yeah.
And that's where it
That's where it's
gets
sticky.
really complicated because on the one hand, yeah, everybody needs that person. Everybody needs somebody, and hopefully it is your parents. I feel like if I had ever been in that position, my dad would have been the kind of guy who's like, yeah, you did a dumb, I'm here to help you get out of it.
oh, my dad would come get me and then scream at me on the way home.
See,
So like,
But I want to be this parent.
I don't think I'd ever had that person.
my dad was also very dumb
person.
growing up.
Of course,
I'll come get you. Yeah.
So he definitely understands.
You've been the person.
Yeah,
You think your mom wouldn't
he
come
was
get you?
the dumb.
No.
You think she's a Mark?
No. Yeah.
It is cop out.
No, I think my favorite though is Mark would show up, whoop whoop, everyone's getting arrested, get in the car.
yeah. He used to threaten me all the time, and he says, if I ever catch you doing anything, I'm gonna haul your ass to the jail myself by your collar. Anyway. But didn't you feel like, her reports like after the fact, like after this all blown over, almost felt like she didn't mention that she had any kind of conversation with him about the behavior of such. It almost felt like she was like, she didn't condone that kind of behavior. It was
Yeah, it was that she was like, oh, I'm sorry you have a hangover, let's get you a burger and ice cream.
Which I mean, sure.
Like,
That's still in the moment. I'm talking about
Yeah.
after. After that,
Yeah.
she didn't even like talk to him after.
She was just hoping that like the consequences.
No, if anything,
Yeah, the
if anything,
hangover was
the
that.
results,
Yeah.
the results of everything that happened was she
have a
was
house.
She was happy about it because now it's the dad and the stepmom's house.
bonding
Yeah, it's a
experience.
bonding experience. Me getting him out of trouble.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that should have been like I then had like the next day we had a long talk about how alcohol is not good as a teenager and all that stuff, and
Yeah, I
like
feel
I'm
like that
glad you
would've
called
done-
me. I appreciate you didn't try to drive.
I feel like I would have
Like,
done her. I would have done her a service.
Oh yeah, but
if she did that.
I think that's another thing. Like you really need to have conversations with your spouses and stuff. Like if she had gone to the husband later and was like, "Listen, this is what your son had gotten up to, but don't freak out."
Yeah, that's,
Because-
that's
See,
what
here's
I
the
would
thing.
hope for.
Like-
They probably wouldn't have called her if she was going to do that.
Yeah.
The reason that
don't
they
know it.
called her was because she wasn't going to tattle.
Yeah.
And
Ooh, is
If they
there
found out
something?
that she
Is there
did.
something deeper here? Is there like she was never respected by any of these kids for like they like resented her, but now they saw it as an opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they probably
she'll
thought
do
that
it.
they
She'll
could
do
just get away
anything.
with shit, yeah.
She'll do
It's-
anything now to get on our good
but
side.
see, it's one thing if they are abusing that relationship.
Yeah.
It's another if this is the one time that it's ever happened and it was a good experience for everybody who was not named Dad.
Yeah.
Well, I think it really kind of does go to show that she's willing to like be there for them.
Yeah.
But I still think she should have had the mom follow up talk of just like
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm not your mom, but
And like before you explained that the dad eventually found out, I was like, he's gonna find out.
Yeah.
Like,
He's gonna
they always
find
find out. So that's gonna blow up.
well, yeah, I still think that could have been a conversation she had with him secretly of just like, listen, he was in a bad situation, he made some bad choices.
But then he made a good choice.
He made a good choice and called me. I've already talked to him, and I think it's something that he learned from, and if he does it again, then we'll get you involved.
Yeah.
But I'm letting you know he made a good choice to call me. That's what I think it should have been. Like,
I think what it should have been is that she tells Dad what her deal is with the kids too.
Oh, yeah.
True.
She's like, hey, I'm not their parent. You have made that clear. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to be in this role because I'm not their parent, but I'm still involved. And if that's not okay with you, then we need to renegotiate.
That sounds like based on her description of the dad that probably wouldn't have flied.
Yeah. Well, but that's the thing is that it's if it's something little like they went to a party and there was drinking and drugs there, but they were scared you would be upset because they happened to be at a place where there just so happened to be
As
drinking and
they should
drugs.
be.
Like it's. Because, I mean, kids don't always know that there's going to be stuff like that. Like, they're just like, oh, there's a party at so-and-so's house. Let's go over and do that. Like, you don't always know that people are going to show up, which, I mean, not in Utah at least. But, like, it's just... But, yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that should have been a conversation beforehand, and it should have been, like, if it's something that he's endangering himself with, I will come to you, and we can have, a situation,
Discussion.
a discussion about that. But if he's calling me being like, I'm at this party... and or like texting me and being like, there's drugs and drinking here and I don't want to be involved in this, but I don't want to bow out and just seem like a loser, I would absolutely be the stepmom that calls and is like, hey, I need you to come home right now. And like, yeah, I would be the bad guy for you. Like,
But that's a different situation than what we've got, though,
Exactly,
because
yeah.
he was
was
drinking.
yeah, exactly. So it's, yeah.
Very true.
So he was doing a dumb, and he shouldn't get out of the responsibility for the dumb that he did.
Yeah.
But
I know.
feel
I would
feel
have told him you're grounded for a week. Like that's like listen, dude. I'm glad you called me, but again, you were
still have
underage
consequence.
drinking. There
I
does
bet
need to be a
I
consequence.
bet he would have accepted that.
Yeah.
I thought the kid
think
would have.
Dad is 0% the asshole here
Mm-hmm.
because he wasn't involved until things went too far.
Yeah, like what would have happened if he did have alcohol poisoning and she had to rush him to the hospital? Like, so
And he
like,
was-
Don't
and
worry
he
about
was-
us.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We're just
And he
running
was
out of the
completely
house.
unawares.
Yeah.
No, if anything, like actually, let's put into his perspective for just a second. How pissed would you be?
Oh, yeah.
If like you had to find out not from your
spouse?
significant other, you found out several weeks later by people around the neighborhood. Oh, your son was drinking
Oh
alcohol.
yeah, that big old party.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
old party.
That I saw your car at or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. I'd be.
yeah.
Livid.
He'd be pretty mad.
I'm very lucky as far as my step parents are concerned because I didn't get step parents until I was like 25.
Yeah.
So there was never that negotiation of figuring out, okay, how much of a parent am I going to be to you? It seems to me, because everybody here knows something about that. You work with step-parents all the time.
I do not.
Mine was the opposite. My step-parents have been in my life my entire life.
Yeah, and so everybody...
Mine was when I was a teenager, so yeah. Like,
A little
and
mixed
so
bag, yeah.
everybody has a different experience here with what's going on. So I can't speak from authority in that way, but it just seems to me like you have to have discussions with the parent.
Yeah.
That is paramount to
Needs
all
to
of
be a
this.
united front at some point.
well, I can't tell you. There was a few times that, like, my dad was livid at me with some things, and Cheryl was the one being like, now, Tony, it's okay. Like, calm down and stuff. And so, like, she was the one calming him down.
Yeah.
So, like...
Thanks, stepmom.
Yeah, thanks, stepmom. Yeah, so, like... Yeah, so...
That's rough.
I know, I tried to go for some...
You did good.
Thank you.
You did good.
I'm ready for more asshole stories.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Okay. Am I the asshole for paying the deposit on a house without asking my husband first? Ooh.
Yes.
Who
The
is this,
answer
Jim
is
from The
yes.
Office?
Just like, right?
Gosh, we taking today's housing market into consideration?
Yeah.
Good lordy.
Yeah.
You spent 30 grand?
You put
Was that both of your lungs that you sold for that? 'Cause holy shit.
zombie wife.
Right?
I, 26 female, have been married to my husband, 27 male, for 2 years, dating since high school. We have shared finances, and we don't have separate bank accounts. That's what shared finances means. But okay. When I was a kid, I used to...
You and I have separate bank accounts.
That is fair. When I was a kid, I used to spend the summer in a house in front of a lake, and I loved it. Yesterday, my sister sent me a link of a house. I thought it was an apartment in our city because we're looking to buy one, but it was the house that I used to spend the summer in. And it was really cheap, only 40,000 in euros. I don't know. How much is that?
How much was it again?
$80,000.
Okay.
But it's probably closer to like 65 or 70.
That's ridiculous.
Not for an entire house.
What, it's just a down payment on the
No,
house?
this is the whole house.
This is the whole house?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought the title said down payment.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says that a euro is currently equal to 1.7 United
Yeah,
States
so
dollars.
not-
As of June 7th, they're currently the same as us right now. So,
Wow.
so whenever that was posted.
Um,
Fuck that, I would be like,
That
go
wasn't-
pay that house right now, go do it! Like,
That wasn't always the case. So depending on when this was,
Yeah.
there
Right.
was a time when it was almost $2 to the euro.
Okay. The house was really cheap, only 40,000 euros. It's a fixer-upper, and my husband and I are very handy. I called the agent of the house, and he told me that it was still available, but that there was another person interested. They always say that. Mm-hmm. At that moment, I sent him the deposit. It was only 2,000 euro.
that's it?
Okay, but that kind of decision without your spouse?
I mean,
that's a whole ass house.
Yeah.
That you have to work on. I'm not done. I need to finish.
Okay.
Before I get I called my husband after, and he was not happy about it, and he said that I should have told him first. When he arrived home, he didn't want to talk about it, and this morning he has done exactly the same. When I bring up the topic, he tries to change the subject. He's making me crazy. I've sent him a message telling him that I want to go this weekend to see the house, and he has ghosted me. I know that he is going to love it. We've been in that area several times, and he loves it. Also, he knows how much I love that house, and it makes me sad that this is his reaction. Am I the asshole? I know that buying a house is a big deal, but it's 40,000 euro. Our car is more expensive than that. That place is really important to me, and I'm so happy that I'm going to enjoy it with him and our future kids. It's the perfect place to spend the weekends.
Okay, I mean, honestly, that's not that much. Like, that's not that expensive of a place. So, I wish she had called him and been like, honey, 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 honey.
Yeah.
We need it. But
That's a lot of money.
that is a lot of money.
Is she the asshole? Yes.
Yeah.
But
Do I blame her?
Yeah.
yeah, that's literally
it's a very tiny asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Just a
the
little,
thing is
so
that
little, just a little.
fix it up. You guys can go there on whatever weekends or whatever, but rent it, Airbnb it. Like,
True.
you make that back pretty quick, and you're Airbnb-ing that. Like,
But also,
But
it's
also
like,
talk to your husband.
yeah, that's...
like the whole, like, we have to put in, it's only worth 40,000 euro. That means it's a lot of a fixer-upper to me.
Yeah.
And, like, being handy is one thing, but being like, look what we bought, fix it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we'll make money off of it, maybe someday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would say she's the asshole.
I get it being
So-
your, like, childhood home. Like, that sounds like a dream come true, but also communicate.
Yeah.
That was a
Yeah,
fun
I
one.
feel like
That was a
that's
fun one.
what it comes down to for all of these is if you had communicated,
Yeah.
everything would have been fine.
We're noticing a pattern here.
Yeah. Weird.
This one is not. So,
I'm ready.
am I the asshole for calling my wife a hypocrite?
Okay.
No.
My wife, 25 female, and I, 27 male, are expecting a baby boy. So far, we've had no disagreements except for the name choice.
Of course.
She wants to name our son after her grandfather, but I want to name him after my deceased stepdad because he was such a great man who had done so much for me. We went back and forth on the issue, and then she suggested we blend the name, but I found that insulting because it just ruined the idea behind honoring my stepdad and also ruined the name itself. Which they never say what the name is.
Oh, man.
I know. I was like, what is
I want to
it?
know this Frankenstein
Renesmee.
name.
Right? Yeah.
That's a mistake.
Regurgitation, exactly. Yeah, it's just, I don't know if you've seen people on TikTok, but like everyone who talks about Twilight on TikTok, it's just like,
resume.
registration,
Yeah.
resume, like just Renaissance, like it's just so good. Like all the names they come up with is fantastic. Anyway, so a huge argument ensues because of that, and she went into the bedroom and shut the door harshly. I was pretty upset and irritated, and I went inside the kitchen and called my mom because I needed to rant to somebody. While I was on the phone, I saw my wife walking in with a small bag in her hand because she wanted to stay with her mom for a few days. She saw me on the phone with my mom and was like, ooh, a mama's boy. I had to say goodbye to my mom, and then I snapped and called my wife a hypocrite. And I told her if a 5-minute phone conversation with my mom makes me a mama's boy, then packing up to go stay with your mom for a few days makes you what? She got upset and started lecturing me to stop getting mom involved in our issues and told me that if my mom tries to call her to scold her, then she'll be having she'll have a harsh response for her. I told her she was wrong because I was just venting, as I always do, about anything and needed someone to talk to. She said that calling her a hypocrite was awful of me, then walked out. I tried to call her later thinking that she had calmed down, but she hasn't responded yet. Am I the asshole? I was just trying to get her to see how she was berating me for doing something that has no problem doing, but she needed space.
But she has no problem doing
That she has no problem, probably, yeah. But she needed space.
No.
He's
No.
not the asshole.
No.
Listen, your wife's pregnant. She's hormonal. She's insane, okay?
You guys will get through this.
But is this another one of those ridiculous relationships that the husband has with his mom where the husband's mom is going to end up calling the wife?
Yeah, like...
and
we don't know.
Yeah,
He's not going to admit that.
He's not going to say that.
Has this happened before?
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. A lot of people were asking
So
that.
do you think her rushing to that response, like so quick, means this isn't an isolated incident?
That's
Right.
exactly the feeling that I'm getting.
But also the fact that she was literally packing up to go to her mom. Like, she didn't need to say that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really wish, I know this isn't the route that we're going here with the argument, but I really wish he said, if calling my mom for 10 minutes makes me a mama boy, then I'm a goddamn mama's boy. I really
Bet
want
your ass
to. You
I
bet your am. I'm a goddamn. Anyway, I would
it's
have
just
loved that so much.
I don't. It's so frustrating about that because I would like to know the other person's side of the story and stuff.
I wanna know
but
the name.
I want to know the name. Yeah,
The
like that's what I
Frankenstein
care
name,
about.
yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, why couldn't they have compromised with first name, middle name?
I was going to say the same thing.
Like that. Why would that be a problem? And then she can call, hey Billy, come over here, and he can be like, hey Jason, come on over here. Like
That's the worst.
but he would know who he is.
But yeah, really what it comes down to for me is this a persistent issue? Is this a problem that they have? Because is he an asshole for calling her a hypocrite? No.
No,
I don't think so, because that's
she was being a hypocrite.
Yeah.
Like
calling me a mama's boy when you are about to go to your mom's house
Yeah.
to get away from me. Yeah, no, shut the fuck up.
yeah.
But if that is your first reaction, that I don't want your mom getting on my case about this, if mom gets on your case about this, then yeah, you are also the asshole.
Yeah.
And we've had so many, I say we, as though I have been here for all of these.
You listen to all of them.
I do listen to all of them.
Oh, I got to step up my husband game.
Yeah.
Tony.
Am I the asshole for telling my husband that he needs to listen to my
Tony,
podcast?
you have set an unrealistic expectation.
But anyway, no, that's all that I have to say is because so many of these have ended up being the husband has an unhealthy relationship with his mother,
Yeah.
and they're taking it out on the wife together, and that's 100% the vibe that I'm getting here.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that up because, like, immediately we're like, oh, there's layers.
Yeah.
There's layers of this.
Yeah, I don't know why the middle name thing can't work.
I know. Why can't that work? Why is that not, like? Why do you have to
like specifically have a middle name that they've picked out?
Yeah, what's wrong with Jay Silly, though?
Yeah.
Jay Silly is a great name.
I also like how he
Bill
doesn't.
Ayson.
I like how he doesn't deny that he's not a mama's boy.
True.
He just calls her a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I'm one, and you are one, and we are one. It is what it is.
I know I am, but what are you?
That's pretty much literally what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
This is my last one, and it's very long, so I'm sorry. Am I the asshole for not returning my engagement ring after my fiance passed away? Oh, silence. Okay.
I want to say no. I want to say no.
Ready? Okay.
Oh yeah, we're ready.
There's a story here.
I, 31 female, recently lost my fiance, Jake. We've been together for 6 years. His death was unexpected, and I'm still mourning. At the funeral, which I arranged and paid for, his brother, Jim, asked me when I'm going to return the engagement ring to the family. For context, the engagement ring, with which Jake proposed, is an ancient family heirloom. It's a gorgeous ring, but what makes it priceless is the story behind it. Jake got the ring from his grandma a month after we started dating. He claimed he knew back then he would marry me someday and wanted to get his grandma's blessing on the ring. When he proposed, his grandma had already passed away, so having the blessing on the ring made it extra special for the both of us.
Here's my question: is he the oldest? Because I always wonder, like, if there's multiple brothers, who does the ring get to go to?
Yeah.
Whoever is
Whoever
getting
gets
engaged
married
first, but
the grandma's favorite.
yeah, I guess,
favorite.
yeah, probably.
That's the right answer.
Yeah. The best way to solve that is no children, hoard everything with yourself in your casket when you die.
True.
The Egyptians were right.
You can take it with you.
Yeah.
I asked Jim if he's being serious, to which he said yes. Apparently his longtime girlfriend Stacy saw the ring a while ago and fell in love with it and the story behind it, so she kept nagging him to get her something similar, but he couldn't find anything. He figured since...
You know how hard it is to be like, hey, sister-in-law, can I get a picture of the ring? I would like to make a replica of it. You can go to fucking anybody. There's like a billion of them on TikTok. They'll make you a fucking ring.
Yeah, but
like,
that costs money.
Oh,
and it's not as sentimental anymore.
But if you're in love with the ring, is she in love with
And
the
the
story of the
behind
ring?
it.
She is also in love with
Or
the
just the
story that it
girlfriend.
was gifted
Stacy
and
saw
blessed
the
to
ring.
this girl?
Yeah.
No. Just the ancient family heirloom side of it.
I think that he's just happy that he didn't have to buy another one.
okay, or other solution, you have like 5 ancient family heirlooms.
Oh,
Yeah, be like, here you go. Here's a ring. You get a necklace. Here's a chandelier.
That sounds like Horcruxes, and I don't like that.
I don't. Let me be a
That's
villain.
actually it's kind of rad.
This is the sword that we use to murder the. Like, honey, we need to
been
step
passed
forward.
down.
He got a ring and he got a bloody sword.
Yeah,
Hey, who's complaining?
yeah.
And she ate the dog to eat the cat. And the cat.
What is happening?
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
He figured since I can no longer marry Jake, he can propose to Stacy with it. I told him that he's rude and that the ring was blessed especially for Jake and I, with Jake and I in mind. And even if that wasn't the case, bringing it up during Jake's funeral is incredibly disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
After the funeral, I got a message from Stacy saying it would mean the world for her to be the new owner of the ring, and I could always think of her and Jim's wedding as the bittersweet ending to my relationship.
Okay, I
I
was
would keep it
on
on.
board for a
You
second.
know what I would do? I'd film myself tying that thing to a balloon and say goodbye. Like,
Yeah, I was legit on board for a second because she
Came up so nicely.
She was like, hey, I would love for this to be a thing, and let's you and I girls talk this shit out because this is a shitty situation for everybody involved, but it'd be really cool if...
But no.
And then she goes...
She just
Yeah.
jumped right off that
I'm
cliff.
getting married instead of you. Isn't
So
that
it
so
can be
nice?
your bittersweet. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can bitter my sweet.
yeah, right. Like, fucking fight me in a field. We'll see who gets the ring. Let's go.
Okay. Let's see. She said the ring was blessed so one of the grandsons can marry the love of his life, and since Jim is the only living grandson left, he
me
has claim
in
to
a
it.
Field. Fight me in a field. Let's go.
I blocked her.
Oh, good. Good girl.
My ex-mother-in-law also reached out to me and said that although she understands my pain, I can't keep the ring since it's a family heirloom, so I should suck it up and give it to Jim. I snapped and told her no. The ring is staying with me and following me to the grave if need be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've determined the course.
I know,
that
but
we're
there's
taking
so much
already.
more.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I told you it's a long one. It's a beautiful symbol of Jake's love, and I won't let Jim and Stacy sully that memory of him. The ring is legally mine, so all they can do is cry about it and be bitter. They keep harassing me on social media, saying I'm a bad person and that I stole the family heirloom to spite Jim and Stacy out of jealousy, but I ignore them.
Yeah, I fucking hate you two so fucking much because I was totally going to be in your family and fuck you. Like,
We were probably fine before this.
Love your brother so much that I was going to marry him and be part of your family. And it's nobody's fault that he died, I don't think, but
they murdered him.
Right? If that's the first thing you think about at the funeral.
Yeah, they murdered him for the ring.
I think you need to stop watching true crime.
I think I need more true crime because then I'd be able to solve if they actually did it. So
Okay.
Today I met up with my brother, and he said that although Jim's approach was highly inappropriate, I'm being selfish for keeping the ring as a keepsake. I could always wear different jewelry that Jake bought me in his memory, but they could never replace an heirloom that's been in their family for generations. I'm now back home and I can't stop thinking about it. Up to this point, I was sure I did everything right, but maybe I'm just being blinded by grief. A friend suggested I asked for an objective opinion, and she recommended this place, so am I the asshole? Update. I'm writing this to answer some commonly asked questions, and because I think I've made up my mind on what to do with the ring. I met Jake's grandma. She passed away a year before our engagement, and by that time, I was already introduced to the family. We were supposed to get married on Halloween 2022. We met at a Halloween party, so we thought it was fitting. We don't have children. Due to personal reasons, we never planned on having any biological kids. However, we did plan on fostering after our marriage was finalized. Stacy did mention a couple times how gorgeous my ring was and asked if she could try it on, but I refused. Back then I thought she was just trying to hint to Jim so he would propose already, and didn't think she was actually interested in the ring itself. The ring is legally mine. In Jake's will, I'm written as the beneficiary. The will was written 2 years ago and hasn't been changed since. Jake passed away in a work-related accident. I claimed a life insurance and sued the company he worked at, since I believed his death was due to their negligence and could have been avoided. I'm currently in a legal battle. I paid for the funeral because I wanted to make sure everything was organized the way Jake would have wanted it. As horrible as it sounds, I was financially well off before Jake's death, and now due to his will, life insurance, and company compensation, I'm practically rich. So I had the funds to organize him a really nice funeral. When I told ex-mother-in-law I'll take the ring to my grave, I meant it. When Jake passed, I considered joining him a couple times before I finally started going to therapy. I don't think I'll ever date or get engaged again. It's too painful. As for my decision, I would rather wait for hell to freeze over than let Stacy and Jim have the ring. For now, the ring is staying with me. However, I'm considering the following option. Jake has a cousin, 10-year-old female, that lives far away. I used to babysit her while her parents still lived in town. I think I'll gift her the ring as she graduates high school and pay for her college tuition using the life insurance money I got. I hope that way I can do right by Jake and his grandma. They say time heals. Hopefully 8 years will be enough for me to let go of the ring. If not, I guess we'll see then. I'm not telling anyone in his family what I have planned. Let them think they've lost the ring forever. I think it's a punishment fit for their actions. By the way, I lost the comment that said this, but someone compared Stacy to Gollum. I don't know who it was, but this genuinely made me laugh for the first time in a while, so thank you.
Okay, so that would be...
This lady is awesome.
Yeah, she's great.
Cool.
That would be like your aunt with Sean.
Yeah.
That would be like her being given a family ring, and then when he passed away, your family being like, give it back.
They would not.
No, I know they wouldn't because they're great. But like...
That's what it would be,
Yeah. Do you, like...
Well, no, I don't see why. Because in that same exact instance, in my entire time... Yeah, exactly. The entire time I'm thinking that, it's like, she's still family. She, for all intents and purposes, would have been family if the worst hadn't happened. So you would have had to deal with it then. But I don't... Oh, my gosh, that's... So definitely no, not the asshole. Definitely no, not the asshole.
No.
Yeah, I think if she ever... So she's got this awesome plan that I absolutely
That was a cool
approve of.
plan, yeah.
But if she didn't have that plan, if she ever does get re-engaged, that's the time to give back the ring.
Yeah. But I could also see
but not before then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say give back the ring, but I don't think it would be appropriate to use that ring.
Wear it.
In that marriage.
Yeah.
I think if I were in the same exact situation, I would give back the ring upon getting re-engaged to somebody else. But
you're not as emotionally invested.
No, I understand. I'm trying to be as objective as I can be, given that it's not my situation. But yeah, I think because I can let go, I'm moving past this ring, because this ring was the symbol of the life that I was going to have, and now I have a new life that I'm going to put forward.
I can agree with that, but I'd also just become Mrs. Havisham.
Yeah,
so, like,
and that's fair.
That's like...
She's already told me that when I die, she wants, her life goal is to have the entire neighborhood thinks that she's a witch.
Yeah.
So she's going to do everything possible to
By the
make
way,
to
you
make
have
the
to buy a
house
broom.
to make the house like
If
as
you come over,
grungy
you
as
have to come in
possible.
with a broom. Okay.
And she wants like rumors to be spread about her from the neighborhood kids.
Yeah, no, I want everyone to think I'm a witch. I'm going to garden at 3 a.m. to be, everyone be like, do you know she gardens at 3 a.m.? And stuff. Like, that's my life goal. I might not be able to live in this house because it's too cute of a house to turn into a witch's house. But, yeah. That's what I'm going to do. So,
If Tony also dies, I'll just live with you. So there won't be any coming over.
Yes.
We'll just be there.
cool.
Just saying.
There'll be 2 witches.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll move back to the East Coast and get a creepy old house.
Can we just be the ants for practical magic?
Yes.
Yay. I like
Yeah,
that.
I just can't believe the family in this
I
story.
love how they're real giddy about it.
I don't want you to die. That's not what I am saying. But like,
I am well aware that I am disposable.
Oh,
so.
wow. Wow.
I told her she'd be richer if I died.
barely.
Nah, for temporarily. But that's all you need.
Yeah, Shannon's got a pretty good life insurance policy on me, so you know
Ew. And you don't want a funeral.
that's right.
So,
I don't.
hey, party.
Yeah, I don't really want a funeral
I don't see the
either. I don't
point.
think.
No.
If the husbands don't
I
return
would
for
be
a future episode of B-Movie Bash, I
You'll know
believe,
they are dead.
If
I,
the
No,
I
I
believe,
already
I believe
know.
we know where this
I
is
already
going.
know how I would
If
kill
the
you
production
and get away
value
with it.
suddenly just jumps on what's going on here,
We're not hovering
I'm just
in,
saying.
in
Okay,
a
all I'm
closet
saying
anymore.
is that I'm okay with it because do you?
He doesn't speak for the group.
No, but I already know how I would kill you. That's the thing.
I know.
So-
She tells me.
I told him how I
You're
would
not
do
supposed
it.
to tell me.
I know, but I would never do it. I just know how I would. So, like,
It's pretty sad, honestly. And it's
Okay,
it's
so-
fairly accurate. It would actually fly in real
You
life.
have to say
I would
it
make
now.
it work because I know of the line of work he's in and everything. It would be perfect. No one would know.
Go on.
I mean,
Do you
no.
really want to know how I would murder my
off
husband?
camera, off
Okay.
camera.
Oh,
Okay.
rude.
I guess I don't want people to.
Get rid of the evidence. That's all I'm saying.
I would love the evidence.
Personally.
I'll tell you guys later. Okay, my turn. Last one.
I feel like if we had a Patreon, it would be like, go on Patreon to find out how we kill our husbands. Subscribe.
Patreon.com.
Yeah. Should we get a Patreon?
I know.
I don't think anybody's gonna.
And I would sponsor a petition to have that Patreon removed.
Am I the asshole for refusing to pay for my wife's cosmetic surgeries despite paying for my ex's while we were married?
Okay.
My wife and I, both 32, have been married for 2 years now. My ex and I were married from 21 to 24. I paid for her cosmetic surgeries at 23 when I got a big sum of inheritance. We divorced because we fell out of love, and I met my wife at 26, dated her until I was 30, and then married her. My wife and I are planning on having our first and only child. I used most of my inheritance when I bought our home and put the rest towards an investment account that will be our retirement money and part of the college fund for our kid, and towards an emergency account. We share finances. We both work. We live comfortably. We are really planning this child. My wife will take 3 years off to care for the formative years of the baby, and I will be the breadwinner while she's at it. We will start trying next year because we want to save as much as we can for the baby's necessities. 2 days ago, she sat me down and said that she's been thinking about how having a baby might alter her body in ways she won't like. And says that she's putting all the risk into this pregnancy, body alterations, childbirth, risk of dying, while I'm putting in none. So she wants to be compensated for it and wants me to pay out of my own pocket, not joint account, for a few surgeries, most likely lipo and breast after a year of birth. This is in case her resultant body is something she doesn't like or she dislikes, and said she wants to make a contract and everything to make sure I don't back out.
Oh my god.
She repeated herself that this surgery will only be in case her resultant body is not to her liking. Thing is, aside from the emergency fund I have and our saving for the baby, I don't have money for that. I told her as much, and she said I could take out a loan or something to pay for it. When I tried to protest, she reminded me how I paid for my ex's surgeries despite having no kids with her. I said that wasn't fair because even if she's asking 2 years before, I'll most likely not have the money since we're saving for our kid, and I'll have to put all of our money towards the house and our care while she's a stay-at-home mom. She said I should think about it, but I said my answer was a total no, and she called me an asshole.
No. What the hell?
Right?
Yeah, no, this is some crazy.
I love how it was
premeditated bullshit.
Oh
Yeah.
She had this in her back pocket
Yeah.
for a while. I like how it was like almost a legal decision. You know what I mean? We want this to be a contract, and only if.
That's crazy.
My body is not to my liking after.
It won't be, I promise.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole. That's part of it. You know what I mean? Like, and you can still exercise. You can still be as healthy as possible before and after.
Yeah.
So that's what?
Yeah.
Do you think we?
That's some crazy shit.
Do you think we're allowed to have an opinion on this matter?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes. I never am not allowed to have an opinion.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm with you. The stuff that's going on in the world today, a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, well, men don't really have a say." But then I love the response. Well, do you think 9/11 was bad? or do you think the Holocaust was bad? Or are you a Jew? Oh, fancy that.
Or German?
Yeah. It sounds like you have an opinion about something that didn't affect you.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I think she's an insane person for that. Like,
No,
it would be
that's some crazy
that
shit.
should be a conversation of sitting down and being like, honey, I would like to say if I'm not happy with how I look afterwards, do you think we could maybe try saving a little bit extra?
Like set aside
money. Yeah.
money. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
All right, look, I totally get you wanting to feel, more comfortable about yourself and want to feel happy in your own skin. People telling you, oh, you just need to be happy being you can only go so far.
There's the same people saying that people should be like taking whatever to do whatever to be whatever they want to be, but you should be happy with yourself.
Yeah.
But change yourself immediately if it's not like it's an asinine. You can't have it both ways.
If she approached it a little differently, and then maybe don't put a time limit on it, don't put a contract on it.
Yeah,
like
that should straight up just have been like, honey, I think I would like to start putting some money off to the side so that we can, if this happens, I still want to
an option.
Yeah, it could be an option.
'cause it could,
and then
honestly,
if I decide I don't want to use it, then we have this money we can do with other things, or
because she might genuinely be really depressed after that,
Yeah.
because she might really value her appearance, and some people are like that.
Yeah.
They just are.
At that point, I would just be like, let's just pay for a surrogate. Fuck off.
Right?
Yeah,
you go.
Have a child a different way. if it
But
means
for
that
her to
much
go
you.
and see and say and as a woman, I get it. She's the one taking quite a bit of risk and everything. But
That's what you sign up for.
you signed up for that. You are wanting to be a mother.
Yeah.
Right.
And for
she's-
her to be like, you have no risk
Yeah.
whatsoever, it means that you don't value him as
I mean,
as
She-
part.
per se,
Yeah.
but like he's providing.
Yeah.
And he has a part in it, obviously.
Yeah,
And also,
he would lose you.
if you
and-
died, it would
yeah.
be him and the baby. Like that's
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like that's her only concern.
Yeah, is herself.
Is herself and the looks, and not about the child at all. And I don't feel like the attitude's going to change after the birth
No.
either.
Yeah.
Tony, your thoughts?
Crazy bitch.
Well spoken.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
just no.
Just no.
I stand by my. This is some crazy ass premeditated bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just makes me think of like super rich, fancy people who are like, let's plan out our entire lives.
Yeah.
And then you'll be skinny forever. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Like,
okay.
But also for her to be like, well, then just get a loan. Like, honey, that would be us getting a loan.
Right.
Like,
That's
it's
not
not
how it
me
works.
getting a loan, but
Well,
you
no,
get a
darling,
loan.
I could just divorce you.
Yeah.
But she can't get a loan because it's up to him to reimburse her
Yeah,
for her body.
But and that's the thing that drives me crazy is that so many women are over here like, I did this for you, and it's like, you asked me to, like you wanted me to, like I don't.
Yeah.
We wanted this together, and now it's suddenly my fault. Like,
Yeah.
like
That's how that works.
it just
Yeah.
Have you not taken a look at Reddit?
apparently.
That's
So
how that works.
it drives me nuts. You guys are a team. Act like it. Are we a team?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry that me giving you a child has been such an imposition on you.
I'm also just lazy and I like food. I can change whatever I want. I just don't. So.
We need that mounted on a wall somewhere. his comment too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Well,
Okay,
thank
guys,
you
how
guys.
was your first episode?
Had fun.
We had a good
Had a
time.
good time.
That was very enthusiastic. Thank you.
They're both tired.
I had fun.
Thanks, Eeyore.
Great, I guess. It was fun.
Okay, well, they won't be back next year, so
We will murder
Because
them.
of
Thank
death.
you.
Oh, yeah, we already know why we're not coming back.
we'll hope you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Because I had fun.
Yeah,
had a good
this was
time.
fun. I liked getting the other opinions in on it.
Yeah,
So,
that was good.
yeah.
Happy 50th.
Yeah.
High five.
Well, congratulations,
Ow!
guys.
Thanks. We love
Were
you.
we ever going to do a shitty movie of our own?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to come back if we're not dead.
If they live.
And have our own.
Shit, now they have to live.
Dang it.
Ha! Found a way.
Wow, did you hear about that really crazy car accident?
Oh my god. Wow.
Crazy. They have a lot of money. You want to?
By the way, look at this new speaker we got.
We live back east now,
Yeah.
so timing is going to be a little weird. But we'll get used to it.
Please tell me this is recording.
It is. It
Always.
is.
Always.
Always recording.
Good.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good time. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode. Let us know what you think by leaving a comment or sending us an email at bmoviebashpodcast@gmail.com.
You can listen to our episodes on all your favorite podcast platforms, including Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Apple, Amazon Music, and Audible, or you can find the video versions on our YouTube channel.
If you want to support the podcast, you can find our coffee link on our Anchor page. Make sure to like, subscribe, and tell your friends.